The state in the Senzo Meyiwa trial has finally rested its case, and now the ball is in the court of the defense to make its case. But it's been a long 2 years, and so I've put together 10 main points from the state's case. Number 1, we've heard several testimonies from witnesses in the Pretoria High Court, but 3 of the main witnesses to take the stand are those who were in the house on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed: Zandi Khumalo, Mthokozise Twala, and Tumelo Madlala. All 3 of those witnesses confirmed that there were intruders that entered the house on the day that Meyiwa was killed. They've also confirmed that they heard gunshots. Now, their versions on this vary, with some saying they heard 1 gunshot and another saying they heard 3. Number 2, the gun. This is the weapon that police say was found in the possession of accused number 3, Mthobisi Mncube, when he was being investigated for another crime. According to police, once they had suspicion of Mncube's link to the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, they went to find the gun, which was ready for disposal, in order to compare it to the bullet that was found on the scene of Meyiwa's murder. And according to ballistic experts, they have positively linked the firearm that was found with Mncube and the bullet that was found on the scene of Meyiwa's murder. Number 3, cell phone evidence. The state has led evidence that shows that Mthobisi Mncube, the alleged gunman, was in the Vosloorus area on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. However, the cell phone data before court shows that he may have been in Vosloorus earlier in the afternoon and not in the evening when Meyiwa was shot. The version, according to the defense, is that while Mncube was in Vosloorus on the day, around the time when Meyiwa was killed, he was in the George Koch area, which is closer to the Johannesburg CBD. Number 4, the confession statements. Before the court currently are 2 confession statements, one from Muzisbia and another from Bongani Ndanzi. The court has admitted those statements provisionally. That means, as things stand, those statements form part of the court record. In Ndanzi's statement, he places himself on the scene of the crime, confessing that he was indeed one of the intruders that entered the home of Kelly Khumalo. Number 5, the state star witness, Constable Sizwe Zungu. According to Zungu, who had a lengthy testimony on the witness stand, he told the court that all 5 men were in the Vosloorus area, specifically at the Basotho hostel on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. But also, he says he saw the men leave the hostel and then hours later rush back into the hostel, and he assumes that's when the men came from murdering Senzo Meyiwa. Number 6, e-Natus records. According to Muzisbia, he hadn't been in the Johannesburg area since early 2014. However, the state has brought records showing that Sbia had applied for a learner's license at the Boksburg Center in 2014. There are also further records showing that he'd made transactions in Carlton Center in the same year, and also bank records that show that Muzisbia had applied for a replacement of his bank card in 2014 in Johannesburg. Number 7, witness testimony. Now, we've heard testimonies from a number of witnesses that the state has led. But one of those is Nthabiseng Mokete, a witness who happened to be outside the home of Kelly Khumalo on the night that Senzo Meyiwa was murdered. She says she saw the men running out of Kelly Khumalo's home towards the park on that evening. One of those men had dreadlocks. Now, that's important because according to other eyewitnesses, including the people who were in the house, one of the intruders, the gunman, had dreadlocks during that time. Number 8, alibis. One of the accused, Bongani Ndanzi, had initially claimed that he was at work on the weekend that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. At the time, he worked as a miner on the West Rand for Sibanye Stillwater. Now, the state called a witness, one of the HR personnel from Sibanye, who confirmed for the court that Ndanzi was not at work during that weekend. That begs the question of where Bongani Ndanzi was on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Number 9, an affidavit from Thabang Makeleni, a witness that since died before taking the witness stand. He's one of the first people to describe one of the intruders as having had an O-shaped beard. Now, we've heard this too from some of the people who were in the house. The state has now led evidence showing old pictures of Bongani Ndanzi with an O-shaped beard. And number 10, the controversial DNA evidence. While the DNA evidence does not definitively place the accused at the home of Kelly Khumalo on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed, the state will argue that depending on interpretation, it can be seen that the accused may have been present on that night. All eyes are now on the defense to see which witnesses they will lead in order to answer to the evidence that's been led by the state. But before that, the Section 174 discharge application is being lodged by the defense. This is an application that the defense brings if they believe there isn't sufficient evidence against the accused and no reasonable person would find them guilty of these crimes. The court will have to hear the application, and if the court finds in the accused's favor, then it would be the end of the Senzo Meyiwa trial. KGOMOTSO MODISE, Eyewitness News.